Hi guys, for this project I got to learn and research two projective tests, which are the draw a person test and the sentence completion test. So what is the draw a person test? The draw a person test was developed by Florence Goodenough in 1926. It was first known as the Goodenough Draw a Man test. She created it to initially assess intelligence and maturity levels in children by drawing a person. It's a psychological projective personality test in which the test subject, which are the children, they just used simple art supplies like pencils, pens, and crayons to draw different people with different characteristics. So, who was Florence Goodenough? She was an American psychologist and a pioneer on the field of child development. She is best known for her development of the Draw a Man test, which now we know as the Draw a Person test. She was a professor at the University of Minnesota, where she conducted much of her research on child development and intelligence, and she wrote her famous book that introduces the Draw a Person test called The Measurement of Intelligence. Now, to get a little bit more in depth of what the Draw a Person test is, both of these tests are projective tests, which means that the individual's responses are interpreted by a trained psychologist to gain insights into their personality, emotions, and thought processes. But this one specifically is based on the idea that an individual's drawings can reveal their innermost thoughts, feelings, and attitudes. The individual is usually given a blank sheet of paper and asked to draw a full body image of a person, including details such as facial features, hair, clothing, and any other relevant details that can help the understanding of their personality and behaviors. The drawings are then analyzed, looking for patterns and themes in the content and style of the drawings, such as the participants' level of emotional regulation and expression, their ability to form social relationships, and their cognitive development, like problem-solving skills. Everything has good and bad things, so let's talk about some of the good things and some of the bad things of this test, the Draw a Person test. So we have pros versus cons. So pros and why this test is important in psychology. It provides valuable insights into an individual's personality and emotions, relatively simple and not threatening to the subjectives. Can reveal important details about an individual's self-concept, help individuals understand their own emotions and behaviors. And then some limitations that this has is that it's no standardized scoring system, not designed to diagnose specific mental health conditions. It focuses primarily on external characteristics and physical appearance, and it's limited empirical research on reliability and validity. And now let's move on and talk about the other test that I researched, which was the sentence completion test. It was developed by Hermann Ebbinghaus. I think I'm pronouncing that right. In 1897, the sentence completion test is a projective test, as the DAP, used to assess an individual's personality, emotional state, and thought patterns. This test typically involves presenting the individual with a series of sentences, stems, or beginnings, and asking them to complete the sentence in a way that feels natural to them. So again, this was developed by the German psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus, who is best known for his pioneering work on memory. He is considered one of the founders of experimental psychology, and he was the first to conduct systematic studies on memory using scientific methods. While I was researching, I came upon this really nice quote that I actually really liked, and I think it connects a lot with the topic of personality. So the quote is, "The musician writes for the orchestra what his inner voice signs to him. The painter really relies without disadvantage solely upon the images which his inner eyes presents to him. Nature gives him his forms. Study governs his combinations of them." And this quote is by Hermann Ebbinghaus. I really like this quote because it suggests that different types of artists rely on different sources of inspiration and techniques in their creative process. The musician writes for the orchestra based on their internal musical intuition, while the painter often draws inspiration from external sources such as nature and relies on their own study and technique to create unique combinations of forms. It highlights the role of both internal and external factors in shaping individual expression and creativity. And I believe that people are shaped by both their inherent traits and characteristics, as well as external environmental factors such as culture, upbringing, and of course, life experiences. And now going back to the sentence completion test. So what exactly is a sentence completion test? Individuals are asked to complete a series of sentences, stems with their own thoughts and feelings. These stems may be open-ended, such as like, I feel most alive when, or the thing that bothers me the most is, or they may be more structured, with specific options to choose from, such as when I'm criticized, I tend to, and then answer with becomes defensive, or feel heard, or just multiple choices that they give you. It's designed to reveal underlying thoughts, feelings, and attitudes that may not be really apparent through direct questioning or observations. So moving on, we are going to talk about, again, just like we did with the Draw a Person test, pros and cons, and why and how it was important to psychology. So it assessed personality traits and psychological functioning. It's still used in research studies to explore the relationships between personality traits and behavior, and it evaluates the effectiveness of psychotherapy interventions. And some of the limitations are no standardized scoring system, just like the DAP. Some individuals may be hesitant to express their true thoughts and feelings on sensitive or personal topics, leading to incomplete or inaccurate responses. Self-report may be influenced by factors such as memory recall, cognitive biases, and response style. And the question I have for you guys is, how do you think cultural or individual differences might impact the interpretation of the results from these type of tests? Thank you so much for listening.